Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Today, we remember Rick Derringer, a spirited musician whose bold guitar riffs and enduring anthems shaped the soundscape of American rock across generations. Born in 1947 in Ohio, Derringer's passion for music lit up stages from the moment he emerged as the 17-year-old frontman of the McCoys with the chart-topping hit Hang On Sloopy. It was the beginning of a career that would span 6 remarkable decades. Rick's journey was anything but linear. He navigated the fast-changing world of music with fierce dedication, evolving from teen idol to solo artist, then to sought-after session musician and producer. His signature track, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, remains a rock staple, echoing through classic films and modern playlists alike. Behind the scenes, he left his mark on legendary recordings with Steely Dan, Bonnie Tyler, and Weird Al Yankovic, earning a Grammy for the latter's debut album. In the 1980s, Rick's creative energy found new rhythm in unexpected places. His work on wrestling themes, including the unforgettable Real American for Hulk Hogan, gave his sound a second life in stadiums and political arenas, uniting generations through a shared spirit of power and pride. Rick's later years were quieter but filled with the same deep devotion to music. Touring with icons like Ringo Starr and embracing Christian music with his wife, he continued to perform and inspire. Though he faced health challenges in recent times, his love for the stage and the fans never dimmed. Rick Derringer passed away in Ormond Beach, Florida, at age 77. His legacy lives on in every electrifying chord and lyric that brought people together. Through resilience, creativity, and an unwavering love for music, Rick left a lasting impression on the heart of American rock. Taina Elg, a luminous star of stage and screen, graced the world with her elegance, talent, and enduring spirit. Born in Helsinki, Finland in 1930, Taina's journey began with dance, joining the Finnish National Ballet before continuing her studies in Sweden and London. There, she was discovered and signed by MGM, launching a remarkable career that would span decades and continents. Taina's rise to fame was swift. She captivated audiences alongside Gene Kelly in the dazzling musical Les Girls, earning a Golden Globe Award, and later starred in the stylish spy thriller The 39 Steps. Her film work in the 1950s reflected her versatility. Whether dancing, acting, or embracing comedy or drama, she brought grace to every frame. Yet, her path was not without challenges. Transitioning from Hollywood glamour to the more intimate world of theater required resilience. Taina reinvented herself on the Broadway stage, earning a Tony nomination for Where's Charlie? And touching hearts in Nine, Gigi, and Titanic. Each role spoke to her deep understanding of character and artistry. Her television career was equally notable. On One Life to Live, she brought complexity and intrigue to the role of Olympia Buchanan, showcasing her enduring screen presence. Despite the shifting tides of fame, Taina never lost her passion for the craft or her connection to her Finnish roots. After years in the US, she returned to Finland, where she spent her final years. On May 15, 2025, she passed peacefully in an assisted care facility in Helsinki at the age of 95. Her life was a tapestry of triumph, transformation, and timeless artistry. Taina Elg's legacy lives on. In every note of music she danced to, every scene she lit with her presence, and every heart she touched with her art. Latest update. Steve Harvey, from homelessness to household icon, the journey of laughter, faith, and fierce resilience. What if the man who makes millions laugh once had nowhere to sleep but his car? What if the booming voice behind Family Feud once trembled with uncertainty? Steve Harvey, the towering figure of television and comedy, has lived a life far more inspiring than many ever realized. Today, we explore the trials, triumphs, and transformations that have made him not just a star, but a symbol of resilience. Born in Welch, West Virginia, on January 17, 1957, Broderick Stephen Harvey came from humble beginnings. Raised in Cleveland, Ohio, by a coal miner father and a devout mother, Harvey's early life was defined by grit and modesty. But even as a young man, he possessed the spark of something larger. After trying his hand at various jobs, insurance salesman, boxer, carpet cleaner, he finally found his calling in comedy. It was not a smooth road. In fact, for a long time, it was not even a paved one. In the late 1980s, Harvey faced unimaginable hardship. With no steady income and no place to live, he spent over 3 years living in his car. He washed up at gas stations and scraped by with odd gigs in stand-up clubs. But he never gave up. Night after night, he stood before strangers and poured his soul into laughter, hoping that one day the world would laugh with him. That day finally came. Harvey's breakthrough arrived with a hosting role on Showtime at the Apollo, where his charisma and comedic timing captured national attention. In 1996, he launched The Steve Harvey Show, a hit sitcom that ran for 6 seasons and showcased not just his humor, but his heart. Then came the 2000s and the original Kings of Comedy tour, a cultural moment that cemented his place as one of the greatest comedians of his generation. But it was not just comedy that would define Steve Harvey. With a voice that commands attention and a presence that radiates warmth, he transitioned into one of America's most beloved hosts. From Family Feud to Celebrity Family Feud, and later Judge Steve Harvey, he proved that he was more than a comedian. He was a connector, a bridge between generations, a man who could laugh with you and speak wisdom to your soul. Yet, as his career climbed, Harvey never forgot the dark days. He used those memories as motivation. In 2017, he founded Steve Harvey Global, a multifaceted entertainment company that extends his brand across television, radio, and digital media. He also co-founded the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation, which uplifts underprivileged youth through mentorship and education. As a father of 7, Steve has never let his demanding career overshadow the values he instilled at home. His children often credit him not only for his discipline, but also for the way he uses humor to teach love and respect. His role as a family man, both publicly and privately, continues to inspire. And what about his health? That too has been a story of redemption. Harvey has long battled health risks, including high blood pressure and pre-diabetic conditions. He candidly spoke about the moment he realized his lifestyle had to change, his son calling him an old man, and the growing fatigue that crept into his demanding schedule. At that turning point, Harvey sought out fitness guidance and began transforming his body and mind. Under the mentorship of former Mr. Olympia Lee Haney, Harvey shed over 30 pounds and adopted a consistent workout routine. He embraced a clean diet, paid attention to his nutritional needs, and focused on longevity. In his own words, he was not just trying to live longer, he was trying to live better. What began as a personal journey became a movement. Through his wellness brand, Levate You, Harvey now shares his experience and health principles with the world, aiming to inspire especially those over 50 to live actively and joyfully. His message is clear. Aging does not mean slowing down, it means rising wiser. Still, not everything has been smooth. In 2015, Harvey made global headlines for announcing the wrong winner during the Miss Universe pageant. It was a human mistake played out on an international stage, but Harvey did not hide. He faced it with humility, humor, and accountability. The moment, rather than tarnish him, showcased his character. He owned it, and fans forgave him because, at the end of the day, Steve Harvey is real. In recent years, false rumors about his health began to circulate, especially in late 2024. Some claimed he had quietly passed, sparking a frenzy of online speculation. But Harvey re-emerged stronger than ever, assuring fans he was alive, well, and thriving, in better shape physically and mentally than he had been in years. These moments remind us how deeply connected the public feels to his journey. One of the most touching moments in his public life occurred during a surprise segment on his talk show, when an old friend who once helped him during his homeless days appeared via video call. Harvey, overwhelmed with emotion, broke down in tears. "I never forgot you," he said, a simple line that resonated with millions. Through it all, Harvey's faith has remained his compass. He often credits prayer and divine guidance as the force that pulled him through both poverty and prosperity. His motivational speeches continue to inspire millions, especially men navigating midlife with doubt and fear. In every show, every interview, every chapter of his books, Harvey reinforces the same message. Your setback is just a setup for your comeback. So what can we learn from Steve Harvey's journey? That success is not about never falling, it is about rising again and again. That laughter can be medicine, not just for others, but for the self. That no matter your age, background, or starting point, you can build a life worth celebrating. Steve Harvey has given the world much more than entertainment. He has given it hope. And in doing so, he has become more than a media icon. He has become a beacon. What would you say to Steve if you could thank him for one thing? What part of his journey speaks most to your heart? Have you ever faced a storm that nearly broke you? What helped you rise again? Share your story below, because somewhere out there your voice could be the Steve Harvey moment someone else needs. Robert Benton, an acclaimed filmmaker and storyteller, was born in 1932 in Dallas, Texas, and grew up in the small cotton town of Waxahachie. From the beginning, Benton's world was shaped not by books, as he struggled with dyslexia, but by the magic of movies. It was in darkened theaters, hand in hand with his father, that Benton first discovered the power of storytelling, a passion that would guide him for the rest of his life. Though his path was never easy, Benton's determination and quiet brilliance led him to become one of the most respected voices in American cinema. His collaboration on Bonnie and Clyde marked a turning point in film history, ushering in a new era of bold, emotionally charged storytelling. Years later, Kramer vs. Kramer captured the hearts of audiences and critics alike, winning 5 Academy Awards and shedding light on the deeply human challenges of family and change. With Places in the Heart, he returned to his Texas roots, weaving his own family's history into a story of resilience and love. Benton's career spanned over 3 decades and brought unforgettable performances to the screen. But beyond the accolades, 3 Oscars, and the admiration of his peers, was a man who deeply understood people. He listened, he observed, and he helped actors reveal their truest selves. On May 11, 2025, Benton passed away peacefully at his home in Manhattan, as confirmed by his longtime assistant and manager. He was 92. His departure leaves a quiet space in the world of cinema, yet his legacy endures in the stories he told, the lives he touched, and the humanity he so gently captured. Robert Benton's work remains a guiding light for those who believe in the quiet strength of storytelling. Ruth Buzzi, a beloved icon of American comedy, was born in 1936 in Westerly, Rhode Island, and raised in Connecticut. From an early age, Ruth's gift for laughter shone brightly. A self-described funny girl in dance class, she found joy not just in performance, but in making others smile. That joy became her life's work. Best known as the unforgettable Gladys Ormsby on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, Ruth created a character that brought humor, heart, and a little handbag-wielding sass to millions of living rooms. Her performance earned her a Golden Globe and 5 Emmy nominations, solidifying her place in comedy history. But Gladys was just one of many unforgettable roles in Ruth's long and varied career, which spanned television, Broadway, voice acting, and film. From the original Broadway cast of Sweet Charity to her years delighting children on Sesame Street, Ruth's versatility and warmth made her a cherished presence across generations. She also gave voice to characters like Susie Kabloozy and Mama Bear, showing a gift for making every role deeply human, even the animated ones. In her later years, Ruth faced health challenges with the same grace and humor that defined her career. After suffering strokes in 2022 and living with Alzheimer's, she remained surrounded by love and laughter at her Texas home. On May 1, 2025, Ruth passed away peacefully in her sleep, as confirmed by her family. Ruth Buzzi gave the world so much joy. She was a light in the world of comedy, a spark that will continue to shine in every laugh she inspired and every heart she touched. Johnny Rodriguez, a pioneering voice in country music, was born in Sabinal, Texas, in 1951, just east of the Mexican border. The second youngest of 10 children, he grew up in a modest home filled with music, where his voice first rose in church and local gatherings. From humble beginnings, Johnny would go on to become the first major Mexican-American star in country music, a trailblazer whose sound bridged cultures and touched millions. With his debut single, Pass Me By, in 1972, Johnny captured the hearts of fans across America. His soulful ballads and gentle storytelling led to a string of #1 hits, including You Always Come Back to Hurting Me and Riding My Thumb to Mexico. Blending Spanish lyrics with traditional country sounds, Johnny brought a new richness to the genre, earning acclaim and inspiring future generations of artists. His music career reached national acclaim when he was named the Academy of Country Music's most promising male vocalist in 1973. He would go on to record over a dozen albums and was inducted into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame in 2007, followed by the Pioneer Award from the Institute of Hispanic Culture in 2010. Behind the spotlight, Johnny faced life's highs and lows with courage, from personal struggles to brushes with the law. Yet he remained a beloved figure who never stopped creating music. In his final years, Johnny battled health complications and was in hospice care before passing peacefully on May 9, 2025, surrounded by family. His daughter Aubrey shared, "He was not only a legendary musician, but a deeply loved father, husband, and brother." For many, Johnny Rodriguez was more than a country star. He was a symbol of hope, heritage, and the power of song. James Foley, a gifted storyteller from Brooklyn, New York, left an indelible mark on the world of film and television. Born in 1953, he discovered his passion for cinema in college and followed it to the heart of Hollywood, where chance encounters and quiet persistence would shape a career filled with artistic highs and heartfelt narratives. Foley's journey behind the camera began with Reckless in 1984. But his voice as a director truly emerged with At Close Range and the searing, unforgettable Glengarry Glen Ross. His ability to capture raw performances earned him the trust of stars like Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, and Sean Penn. These were films that didn't just tell stories, they listened, observed, and revealed. He brought the same depth and intensity to his work in television, most notably as a director for House of Cards, where his visual language and instinct for tension helped define the groundbreaking series. Whether working with Madonna on music videos that became pop culture touchstones or stepping into the global spotlight with the 50 Shades sequels, Foley remained true to his craft. Fluid, fearless, and always hands-on. Behind the camera, Foley faced his share of challenges. The unpredictability of Hollywood brought both triumphs and setbacks, but he navigated them all with the heart of a true artist. In his later years, Foley confronted a long struggle with brain cancer, passing peacefully in his sleep at his Los Angeles home earlier this week. He is remembered not only for his unforgettable films, but for his humility, dedication, and the quiet strength with which he approached every frame. James Foley's work endures, not because of spectacle, but because of truth, the kind found in a glance, a pause, a whispered line. Denise Alexander, a cherished presence in the world of daytime television, brought heart and humanity to every role she portrayed. Born in 1939, she began her career as a young performer on Broadway, before becoming a familiar face in homes across America through her unforgettable work on Days of Our Lives and General Hospital. In 1966, she joined Days of Our Lives as Susan Hunter Martin, where her expressive performances quickly made her a fan favorite. But it was her nearly 5-decade portrayal of Dr. Leslie Weber on General Hospital that cemented her place in television history. As one of the first female doctors on daytime TV, Denise helped redefine what women could be on screen: intelligent, compassionate, and complex. Her journey wasn't without its challenges. In the ever-changing world of soap operas, Denise navigated dramatic plot lines and sudden cast changes with grace and professionalism. When her character was written out in a shocking storyline, fans voiced their love so strongly that she returned years later, proof of the lasting bond she built with viewers. Off-screen, Denise was known for her warmth, wisdom, and quiet strength. She remained a beloved figure among colleagues and friends, someone who brought light and joy into every space she entered. On March 5, 2025, Denise passed peacefully, leaving behind a legacy of trailblazing performances and heartfelt storytelling. Her final appearance on General Hospital in 2021 reminded us of her timeless presence and enduring talent. Denise Alexander will always be remembered as more than a television star. She was a pioneer, a storyteller, and a companion to millions who followed her every step. Her legacy lives on in every scene, every memory, and every life she touched. Kora Sue Collins, a beloved presence in Hollywood's golden age, captured the hearts of audiences during the 1930s and 40s with her expressive eyes, natural charm, and remarkable poise. Born in 1927 in Beckley, West Virginia, she began acting at just 4 years old. Her career launched by a chance encounter outside a California school. From that moment on, her path was set. As a child actress, Kora Sue appeared in nearly 50 films alongside some of cinema's greatest legends: Greta Garbo, Myrna Loy, William Powell, Bette Davis, and more. She portrayed the youthful versions of Hollywood's leading ladies, from Claudette Colbert to Merle Oberon, often with a grace beyond her years. Her portrayal of Garbo's niece in Anna Karenina and her earlier role in Queen Christina fostered a lifelong friendship with the famously private star. But behind the scenes, Kora Sue faced challenges far too mature for someone her age. In her late teens, she encountered a troubling situation that led her to leave the industry, choosing her dignity over fame. It was a moment of profound strength, one that defined her quiet integrity for the rest of her life. Following her film career, Kora Sue embraced a different kind of spotlight, as a devoted wife, mother, and grandmother. She often reflected on her early fame with humor and perspective, finding joy in a life away from the cameras. Kora Sue Collins passed peacefully at her Beverly Hills home on April 27, 2025, at the age of 98, due to complications from a stroke. Though she stepped away from the screen young, her legacy endures in every black and white frame and in the hearts of those who remember a little girl who once lit up Hollywood's silver screen. Delene Young, a gifted screenwriter and passionate storyteller, brought authenticity and empathy to screens big and small. Born in Hawaii in 1939 and raised amid the beauty of Kuliawu, she spent her early years surfing, caring for animals, and discovering her voice, first as an actress, and soon after, as a writer who would help define an era of heartfelt, socially conscious television. With a career that spanned decades, Delene penned some of the most emotionally resonant TV movies of the 1970s through the 2000s. From Dawn, Portrait of a Teenage Runaway, to Jonathan, the boy nobody wanted, her work fearlessly explored the complexity of real lives. Her Emmy-nominated Locked in Silence and the Christopher Award-winning Jonathan stood as quiet testaments to her compassion and depth of understanding. In 1980, Little Darlings, a tender coming-of-age comedy she co-wrote, captured the spirit of youth and friendship with humor and honesty. She followed this with Cross Creek in 1983, adapting Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' memoir into a poignant film that earned multiple Academy Award nominations. Though she often stepped away from Hollywood's glare, Delene never stopped telling stories. Whether through her work on stage, in writing groups, or in quiet mentorship, she left an indelible impact on those who knew her, worked with her, or watched her words come to life. Delene Young passed on May 9, 2025, in Portland, Oregon, after a long journey with Alzheimer's. Her legacy lives on through the characters she created, the lives she touched, and the truth she never shied away from. For Delene, storytelling wasn't just a craft, it was a calling. And through it, she helped us see one another more clearly. Michael Alaimo, a distinguished actor whose performances graced both the stage and screen, spent a lifetime bringing depth and dignity to his craft. Born in 1938 and raised in New York, Michael found his calling early in the world of theater. After studying drama at Brooklyn College, he emerged as a bold presence in the city's avant-garde scene, notably performing with Joseph Papp's New York Shakespeare Festival in Central Park and engaging in politically charged performances with East Harlem's Gut Theater. In the early 1970s, Michael moved to Los Angeles, where his career flourished. Audiences may remember him from his role as a doctor in Space Jam, sharing the screen with Michael Jordan and Bill Murray, or his appearance in the acclaimed The China Syndrome. His talent also found a home on television, where he left his mark on classics like Cheers, The Wonder Years, Hill Street Blues, and Scrubs. Michael's versatility was his strength, moving seamlessly from Shakespeare to sitcoms, from anti-war productions to family comedies. He brought authenticity to every role, no matter the size, and his presence elevated the stories he helped tell. Though the cause of his passing was not disclosed, Michael Alaimo passed peacefully on May 2, 2025, at the age of 86 in Burbank, California. His daughter, Gabriella, confirmed the news, sharing a message of love and gratitude on behalf of the family. Michael Alaimo's legacy is not just in the roles he played, but in the spirit he brought to his work, a dedication to art, to truth, and to the quiet power of performance. His memory lives on in the hearts of his loved ones and the many who were touched by his talent. Philip Lowrie, a beloved figure in British television, leaves behind a legacy defined by longevity, charm, and dedication to the craft of acting. Born in Ashton-under-Lyne in 1936, he found his place in television history at the age of 24 when he first appeared as Dennis Tanner in the debut episode of Coronation Street in 1960. With his roguish smile and undeniable charisma, Dennis quickly became a national heartthrob and a cornerstone of the world's longest-running soap. As the son of Elsie Tanner, Dennis entered the scene with a troubled past, but his charm and wit endeared him to audiences from the beginning. Though he left the show in 1968, Philip returned to the role more than 4 decades later in 2011, earning a Guinness World Record for the longest gap between appearances as the same character in the same television show. Beyond Coronation Street, Philip's talents extended to the West End stage and comedy, with memorable turns in Victoria Wood's shows and leading roles in classic mysteries like The Mousetrap and The Lady Vanishes. Trained at RADA, his dedication to the stage never waned, and his performances always reflected a deep respect for storytelling and audience connection. Philip Lowrie passed away peacefully on April 25, 2025, at the age of 88. His death marks the close of a remarkable chapter in television history. Yet the warmth of his performances and the joy he brought to millions ensure that he will be remembered not only as a pioneering soap star, but as a cherished part of our cultural memory, a performer who made us feel like family on our own streets. Lulu Roman, a cherished figure in country comedy and gospel music, brought laughter, soul, and strength to generations of fans. Born Bertha Louise Habel in Texas in 1946, she faced adversity from her earliest days. Raised in an orphanage and battling a thyroid condition that caused lifelong struggles with her weight, Lulu's journey was marked by hardship, but also by remarkable transformation. She rose to fame on Hee Haw, debuting in 1969 as part of the show's original cast. With her sharp wit and big-hearted sass, she quickly became a fan favorite. Lulu's comedic timing was only matched by her powerful voice, which would later shine in a second career as a gospel singer. Over more than 2 decades, she was a cornerstone of Hee Haw, appearing in beloved sketches like The Culhanes and Lulu's Truck Stop. But behind the scenes, life wasn't always easy. Lulu battled addiction in her early years and left the show briefly in the early 1970s. In 1973, she found faith, a turning point that changed her life. Returning to Hee Haw, she added gospel music to her repertoire, eventually releasing over a dozen albums and earning a Dove Award. Her soulful voice found harmony with legends like Dolly Parton and George Jones. Lulu's path wasn't about perfection, it was about perseverance. She overcame health struggles, personal loss, and the weight of public scrutiny with honesty and humor. On April 23, 2025, Lulu passed peacefully at her son's home in Washington from heart failure. She was 78. Through laughter and song, Lulu Roman reminded us all of the power of grace, grit, and a well-timed punchline. Her legacy lives on in every smile she inspired and every soul she touched. Peter McIan, a quietly transformative force in the world of popular music, built his legacy not with fanfare, but with the resonant power of sound. Born in 1946, McIan became known as the visionary producer behind Men at Work's groundbreaking debut Business as Usual, an album that not only topped charts in both the United States and the United Kingdom, but also helped define the sonic identity of the early 1980s. McIan's artistry was never limited to commercial success. He also lent his signature touch to the works of Pat Benatar, Mr. and Mondo Rock, among others. His deep musical intuition allowed him to bring out the best in artists, shaping arrangements, refining tones, and crafting songs that would become part of the emotional fabric of a generation. His solo album Playing Near the Edge and his instructional book, The Musician's Guide to Home Recording, further demonstrated his commitment to empowering others to create. But behind the success were quiet struggles. In his later years, McIan faced declining health, stepping back from the studio and choosing instead to focus on reflection, writing, and mentoring. Though he never sought the spotlight, his influence rippled through every note he touched. On April 24, 2025, he passed from complications related to age, surrounded by the echoes of a lifetime in music. Peter McIan's story is not just one of achievement, it is one of quiet resilience, creative passion, and the enduring belief in the power of music to connect, to heal, and to last. His melodies live on, not just on records, but in the hearts of those who remember the man behind the sound. Breaking news. Today, we turn our spotlight to a Hollywood figure whose story goes far beyond awards and applause. Peter Dinklage, the man who redefined what it means to be a leading actor, has spent his life breaking barriers, confronting stigma, and reshaping the narrative around physical difference in the entertainment industry. How do you see his impact on the future of Hollywood? Let us know in the comments as we explore the inspiring journey of this fearless talent. Peter Dinklage was born on June 11, 1969, in Morristown, New Jersey. Diagnosed with achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, Peter stood out from a young age. But what truly made him different was not his stature, it was his vision. With a deep passion for storytelling and acting, Dinklage enrolled at Bennington College to study drama. It was there that he found his voice as an actor, not by conforming, but by insisting that he would only take roles that respected his humanity. Early in his career, the struggle was real. Dinklage refused to accept roles that portrayed people with dwarfism as mythical creatures or comic relief. His principled stance meant long periods of unemployment, financial hardship, and an uphill climb in an industry known for its stereotypes. He lived in sparse apartments, took odd jobs, and held firm to one promise. He would rather wait tables than play a role that compromised his dignity. That unshakable resolve eventually paid off. His breakthrough came with The Station Agent in 2003, where he delivered a deeply emotional and nuanced performance. Critics and audiences took notice, and doors that had long been closed finally began to open. But it was his portrayal of Tyrion Lannister in HBO's Game of Thrones that made Peter Dinklage a global icon. As the witty, complex, and courageous Tyrion, he won 4 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe, capturing the hearts of millions around the world. Beyond the awards, what truly stands out about Peter is how he used his fame. He spoke openly about the representation of people with dwarfism, often challenging Hollywood to go beyond surface-level inclusion. His comments about the planned remake of Snow White, where he questioned the portrayal of dwarfs as magical caricatures, sparked international debate. Whether one agreed or not, it was clear that Dinklage was not afraid to use his platform to push for dignity and progress. As his star rose, Peter continued to take on diverse and challenging roles in films like 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, X-Men, Days of Future Past, and Cyrano. He showed that he could be romantic, dramatic, humorous, and heroic, sometimes all in the same performance. What he brought to each role was not just skill, but truth. Yet Dinklage's story is not only about professional triumph, it is also about health, balance, and self-care. Living with achondroplasia carries physical challenges. Joint pain, back issues, and public scrutiny are constant companions. Despite this, Peter maintains an active and healthy lifestyle. Recent reports revealed he lost over 20 pounds through disciplined exercise and diet adjustments in his 50s. Not as a vanity project, but as a way to stay energized, strong, and connected to his craft. He avoids spotlighting these efforts for attention. Instead, his discipline serves a quiet reminder that wellness is a personal journey, one that empowers his creativity and endurance. In a world that often defines health by appearance, Dinklage sets an example by focusing on vitality, not vanity. Off-screen, he is known for keeping a low profile, valuing privacy with his wife and children, and choosing roles based on integrity, not fame. When asked about celebrity, Peter once said, "Fame is weird. I just want to do good work." That attitude has earned him not just roles, but respect, from both audiences and his peers. What makes Peter Dinklage's legacy so powerful is that it does not depend on physical stature, box office numbers, or social media trends. It rests on courage, authenticity, and a relentless demand for better, from himself and the industry around him. So, what do we learn from his journey? That it is possible to change the world by refusing to be defined by it. That one can overcome not only obstacles of perception, but also the deeper trials of integrity, identity, and acceptance. Peter Dinklage has reminded Hollywood and the world that true greatness comes not from fitting into expectations, but from daring to stand apart. Which of Peter's roles touched you the most? How has his story changed your view of what is possible in life and art? Share your reflections in the comments below, and if you believe his journey deserves to be celebrated, like this video and subscribe for more stories that inspire, challenge, and uplift.